the show. I'm Atemi Oyungu and you're watching Africa Rising. Our debate topic today is violence a necessary evil for change in Africa? Well, I gave you my take later on. I'm going to let my panel battle it out. I hope there's no real fight because you guys, non-violent.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask my panel to introduce themselves. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm Moses Otieno. Yeah, I'm from Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Kevin Aura from Nairobi University, taking economics and statistics. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Really, I think that violence, sometimes it becomes necessary to have violence so that you can have change, meaningful change for that. Because looking at it from a historical perspective, we find that most of actually the great civilizations that came about and even going up towards industrial revolution, we find that it took violence and some dictatorial tendencies actually for the successes to be achieved.
Okay, I'm going to ask you for some examples in a minute, but before that, let me ask him, what is your opinion?
My take is non-violence. Yeah, we shouldn't take violence as the advocate for change in Africa. Okay, I may give instances of several nations that have used non-violence ways to achieve democracy and to achieve change in their societies. Okay. So I don't advocate for violence personally. If I may give an example, in India, during the times of Mahatma Gandhi, he used non-violent ways to curb the British power in India. And in 1947, they saw their independence through non-violent ways. And there are many other instances where non-violent ways has proved that it can for sure bring change in a state and in a continent as Africa as a whole.
Okay, let me ask you for some examples of violence.
Before I go into that, I really have to mention that most of the democracies, even when it has been achieved in Africa, are majority of them are actually failures. Beginning with an example of my own country where we had some violence after the elections.
The Mau Mau? The Mau Mau.
The Mau Mau.
No, before, called pre-colonial.
That was pre-colonial. But just post-independence. A lot of elections that we've been having, we find that later on, we still can't keep together. However, I have to give examples of where violence has actually somehow reigned some sort of sense into our African brothers. For instance, sorry to say it, despite it being the worst genocide that was ever witnessed in Africa, the genocide of Rwanda, Burundi, 1994-95, we find that right now that country is so much, at least people are there very united. And at least now they have a sense of purpose.
After they saw
what violence could do, after they saw what lack of proper leadership could do. Right now, you can't mention even the tribes in that country because like they know what can divide them and they want to be together, and that is actually necessary for development to take place.
Do you feel that that's maybe even a similar situation with Kenya? Do you think that after the post-election violence that was very much driven by land and by different tribes wanting different things, do you think that now we are in a place where we feel that we are more united as Kenyans as opposed to this is a Kikuyu and this is a Luo and this is a Kisii? Do you feel that that made a difference?
Not really, but I think still, at least if you go into the villages and you tell people, you see, now you come from, it was the violence that we had in our country was instigated by ethnic comments.
It was?
It was. So it was a lot of ethnic divide. It's the ethnic divide that actually caused the violence. So you find that in our country at the moment, if you go to those places which were worst affected by that kind of scenario, you find that people, when you mention the tribe, they don't want it to be mentioned to them, in spite of the persistence of our politicians.
Is that fear now?
No.
That more fear because you're asked what is your tribe and you're like, hey, I don't say, maybe this person can stab me in the eye, just now if I see.
If it is what is necessary for change, then I believe we should give it a go.
Okay.
As opposed to having the poverty that is bedeviling our continent, the inequalities, and seriously, we need to move on.
Okay, what do you think?
Okay, what I think, even in if I may also use the example that you've given, the 2007 post-election violence, the violence could carry on, and we wouldn't have the change that we required. It was until Kofi Annan and the other panelists came in and used non-violent ways and settled and used a civilized way of sorting out the problems that were affecting our nation. It's up to that. When we saw our nation move a little bit forward, yeah. And if I might use also another example, yeah. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King used a lot of peaceful protests, which were non-violent, and it brought a great change in America. Yeah, there are several other instances also. Dalai Lama from China also once said that we can only see China develop, we can only see China change through non-violent ways. So if we would try and borrow some ideas from developed societies, from developed countries, let us not look at countries which have developed through violence and measure that to our own. You cannot compare those countries that used non-violent ways to get their change with the countries that use violent ways. They are way much different.
But I beg to differ, especially when you're mentioning the Kenyan scenario, what happened in 2007, 2008, January. Yeah. If I can recall correctly, when Kofi Annan and his panel of eminent persons came, you see that what happened is typical of Africa. The leadership that we had quickly sat down, took coffee together, at the expense of the lives that were lost, and divided power amongst them. That's why you see the same ethnic sentiments are still being...
Can I interject here? So I'm saying, I'm agreeing with what you're saying, and I'm agreeing with what he's saying. I'm agreeing with all of you. Yeah. What I'm saying is, you say that what happened was when Kofi Annan and his people landed here, the people in power did what they normally do, at the expense of the lives that were lost. Meaning that at the end of the day, the violence that happened for the common Mwananchi meant nothing, did not bring any change.
Yeah, it did not bring
any change.
Yeah.
That is what I was saying.
So I'm asking, don't you think, and I had said this earlier on today in the show, don't you think, what if as Kenyans in that situation, what if we had all come out of our houses, gone and sat on the highway? We're not working, we're not moving, we're not doing anything.
Now, African leadership is the most stubborn kind of leadership we have anywhere on this planet.
Because what would they have done to us?
Really nothing. You'd have stayed there, starved to death, and then finally...
starved to death. They are the ones who starve. If we don't work, there are no taxes, there are no salaries. We've just
they have plundered over the years. They have plundered all over the years. They still have their reserves. Not even in Africa,
and maybe we
but
targeted the violence. Okay, me, I feel maybe if your argument is to be believed, maybe we targeted the violence at the wrong people.
But look, it should have been orchestrated against the leaders.
Maybe
that is what I'm saying.
I'm not advocating.
So I'm saying perhaps, yeah. No, this may sound sort of like I'm not being a human being, but I believe perhaps enough blood was not poured. Because let us look at it from this perspective.
The wrong blood was poured.
Or the wrong blood. That is true. No, because look at it this way. All the examples you've been giving us examples of what is happening in the developed world. America, for example.
But America, by the time Martin Luther King Jr. was doing his things, nonviolent and violent, they were not that developed because they were still at a place where they imagined
they were at that point. They were at that point in their development. The same way right now we're saying the options that are there for let's say the Britains of this world and the Americas of this world. Those are not the options that can be viable for Africa.
Okay.
What we need in Africa is a revolution. Mark my words, my friend. Is a revolution. The French, after the French Revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte. We are speaking about revolution, the American Revolution, the Civil War that brought the Americans together, all the 50+ states of America together. We're speaking about local examples here. Let's go to local examples. Let's look at Libya. One of the most
He's about to convince me, by the way. I'm about to change.
You see, Gaddafi. Look at Gaddafi's reign in Libya. It's among the countries in Africa where at least social welfare is taken care of.
Mahatma Gandhi. His move, this man is respected worldwide because
Still
of his...
after how many years after his death?
After his death. Because of his non-violent ways of solving problems.
But let me pose a question.
Yeah.
Let me pose a question to you, because I'm in agreement with you, but then I'm wondering about what he's saying.
Yeah.
Let's use again this very country.
Yeah.
When you think pre-colonial time, do you think we would have had independence if we hadn't actually shown how violent Africans can be to the Mau Mau?
My point on Mau Mau is this, yeah? After 19...
And we speak about them lovingly.
Yeah.
We do.
Definitely.
It's true. Kenyans speak about them. We talk well, like, and movements like, pro-African movements, pro-Kenyan movements like the Mau Mau. Well, the Mau Mau just used to kill people. Let's not lie. There's nothing else they used to do. Yeah,
definitely. But I'm not taking that as the route to our independence, yeah? My view is this: during the 1946, after the world, during the World War, there was a lot of chaos over Europe, and you find that the British were in control in Kenya. They were taking the raw materials, taking it there for their industries. Yeah. Now, the main aim for our independence, I see, is their imperialistic control over our country. They found that transporting raw materials and other goods to their countries would be difficult because ships were hijacked during that time. So now they decided to build industries in Kenya. In fact, most of the industries that we have in Kenya were built by the British. Yeah. Now, when they saw that the violence of Mau Mau and the independence thing was coming up, they found that they would lose a lot because they had invested a lot.
No way that
so take it in fact that British was developed, yeah? It had a very huge army, and I really doubt if British could be defeated by the few Mau Mau fighters.
But there's little violence that was orchestrated by that.
Let me finish my point. I just think that the British saw it is to their advantage that if we let these people control the country and let it be peaceful, then we can also benefit from it because we have industries there. So they just drew back. But it's not that we won. I don't think it's not that we won.
Correct.
And if you look at the current situation, they are controlling a lot of industries. They are controlling a lot of our mining fields. Yeah? Just because of creating that notion that we won our independence. Yeah? Then we think that we are the masters.
Yes, and still selling to us the ideas. Africans, you need to have democratically elected governments. Africans, you need to do this right. Africans, let us go to Copenhagen and discuss about climate change. Africans, till when? It is time Africa stood up for itself. And we have leaders who can step up. We need a different brand of leadership for Africa. A leadership that is for Africa. Recall that these people interrupted us during our civilization when they came to colonize us. Meaning there are some stages that we skipped. And this is what is actually affecting our continent today. It is because of them.
They did it.
No, I do not agree. I do not agree.
You don't have to.
You guys.
You don't have to.
Okay. What you see with our current situation, yeah? If you see Africa to be left alone, my dear, we won't make it. We won't make it. We need their help. At some degree, we need their help, yeah?
Okay, I think we're going to... I think that's going into a whole other discussion. Yeah. I'm going to stop you now. Yeah. Because I think today, we're going to agree to disagree. Okay? Yeah. Okay? I think that I think this is one of the most interesting debates I've been in because I really see both your points and I want to agree with everybody. So even me, I'm split both, so I think we agree to disagree. Gentlemen, that was a fantastic discussion.
Yeah, and
let's finish.
Has been a non-violent discussion.
This has been a non-violent discussion. Let's go out to lunch and discuss it more. You guys get to pay though.
Yeah.
So we want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Palestina Interiors for the wonderful for a wonderful set today. We want to thank Kipenzi Designs for my jewelry. We want to thank H2O for water. Ogopa DJs and Track Masters for the wonderful music videos from East Africa. We want to thank you for being with us. What do you think? Do you think that violence is a necessary evil for change in Africa? I would actually like to hear what, I would love to hear your opinions because Like I said, you guys, I'm completely confused. So if you have something that you would like to share with us, email us. Our email address is africarising@xmediakenya.com, or you can go to our website, which is www.xmediakenya.com. Look for the hyperlink Africa Rising. Or you could, to comment and just, see what's going on and get updates. You can actually join our Facebook page. The page is called the Official Africa Rising Group. I want to thank you guys again for coming. Yeah, I think let's give a grand introduction. My name is Atemi Oyungu.
Moses Otieno.
And Kevin Aura.
And you've been watching
Africa Rising.